Hello creators, and welcome back to another video about how to design your dream life by building a profitable wellness business online. It's almost the end of the year, and today I wanted to talk to you about a couple of mindset shifts that we need to tackle before we move forward into 2025 so that we have the best chance at success when it comes to our online wellness businesses. By the time this video gets released, we're probably only going to have a few weeks left of 2024, and as the holidays approach, I want you to take a little bit of your time off from your family, from your friends, from your children, and just sit down and think about what do you want from 2025? How do you want to continue growing your business? What are your goals for the new year, especially when it comes to your online business? If you've started your wellness business in 2024, or even if you've been working on it for a couple of years, you might have felt that this last year was a little bit challenging. And I'm here to tell you that it wasn't just challenging for you. Plenty of my clients have told me that they've been dealing with a lot of different things. At least in Canada, we're still coming out of the repercussions of what happened in 2020 and beyond. A lot of people were still trying to find their footing, still trying to see what the next steps should be for them. And what I've noticed working with women in wellness is that a lot of them have started their online businesses, but once 2024 hit, or even late 2023, things have started to shift a little bit. A lot of people had to perhaps let go of their side businesses and refocus on their career, or maybe they just didn't have as much time to focus on growing an online business because of their daily demands of life. And as such, they just haven't seen as big of a growth, I would say, in their businesses as they would have expected, or maybe as they would have seen back in 2022, 2023, when everyone was online and everyone was looking to heal themselves and therefore looking for their services. Well, if this was you, or if you just started your business in 2024 and you feel like you didn't get a ton of traction, I really don't want you to give up. I'm here to tell you that 2025 is going to be a lot better. There's a lot of different things that we can do to change things around, to shift our perspective so that we're more profitable, more successful, and so that we can continue to grow these wellness businesses that are so near and dear to our hearts. The last thing I want you to do is to give up on your dream and to think that this simply doesn't work because it requires too much time and too much dedication that you just don't have. There are always ways that we can improve our workflow, that we can improve our time management so that we can still grow our businesses. Remember, progress is still progress. It doesn't matter how big it is. The steps you're taking forward, they still count. And I'm so passionate about telling you that you can do this and that you can build the business of your dreams, because I so often see people that do what they're supposed to do, or they work at their career that's unfulfilling. They end up perhaps distressed or not happy with how they're leading their lives. Sometimes just because a career is profitable or because it's something that you've always done, that doesn't mean that it's your true calling. And I find that especially with my niche, with women in wellness, a lot of the girls that I help, a lot of you out there, you just want to make a difference, and fulfilling this mission is something that gives you purpose in this life. So I just don't want you to put that away and say the hell with it, and I'm just gonna keep going with my corporate job because that's what brings me money, or perhaps that's what I've done and known my whole life, and just this online business just doesn't work. That's simply not the case. You can always make your online business work, even if you, like I said, even if you take small steps forward, they still count. The thing that I've learned a couple of years ago and that stayed with me is that you could start now and work towards something that really matters to you, or you could wait and not do it and feel the regret a couple of years later. But the thing is, the time passes anyway. A couple of years from now, you're most likely gonna look back and wish that you had started back then. If you have a drive, if you have a desire to go out there and put your business out there and build this online community for you and for your followers and share your healing and your magic with the world, then I strongly encourage you to do so, and to do so now. Starting an online business is kind of like having a baby. You're never going to be ready. You're never going to be fully ready. You just have to take the leap and know that you are going to figure it out along the way. And I really do know this to be true because I've been wanting to get on YouTube for a couple of years now, and I've always put it off. I've always found excuses as to why I can't do it. I was telling myself that I just don't have the face for YouTube. I was telling myself that I'm not articulate enough and I can't articulate my ideas very well. And once I know how to articulate my ideas better, or once I know how to edit, or once I have a better studio or a better setup, that's when I'm gonna be on YouTube, and that's when everything is gonna start working and it's gonna be so nice and perfect. And to tell you the truth, I really do regret it now that I haven't started 4 years ago when I first had this idea. But I am starting now. I'm still a little bit uncomfortable on camera. It's getting better as the weeks progress, but it's still a little bit of a struggle. At the same time, I do understand that this is part of the process and it's just something that I have to do, and I will get better with time. So for me in 2025, one of the things that I will do, I will post a video every single week, whether I like to or not, whether I feel like it or not. I will create and post a video every single week, and I will continue to grow my audience on YouTube. I'm telling you this story just because I want to illustrate how important it is to get started now. If you have this dream of building a business, might as well just get started now. Even if you have only a couple of hours a day, even if you have only a couple of hours a week, or every now and then you have a little bit of time. In that time, start working on your business, especially if it's something that you've been dreaming about, that you've been thinking about, that you've been telling people about. You probably are reading about it, studying, things like that. If you have a continuous drive, a continuous pull to create something and share it with the world, there's no better time to start than right now. The time will pass anyway, and any step that you take towards your goal is building the foundation of what your future business and your future dream life could be like. It's true that Rome wasn't built in a day, and it's the same thing for wellness businesses and for online businesses. I also think that you as a woman in wellness are facing a different set of challenges by building an online wellness business than anyone else out there, because a lot of the time you have to educate your audience on what it is that you do, the type of transformation that you deliver to your clients. And this education and this awareness building takes a lot of time, especially if you're, let's say, I have one of my clients is a shamanic practitioner, for example. We recently did a video about soul retrieval. Now, soul retrievals are definitely not mainstream yet. When you're thinking about mainstream wellness right now, you're talking about yoga and meditation, perhaps visualization, and some people are a little bit more open to maybe the law of attraction or like manifesting in general. But when you're talking about a soul retrieval, obviously that pool of people that are even open-minded to these more esoteric concepts, it becomes even smaller, right? So for her, it's very important to create that brand awareness, and it's very important to talk to her audience and educate her audience on what it means, what the service means, and what it can do for them. Normally, people are not going to land on our website and book our service right away just because it's a fringe concept. They will need to learn more before they book something. So you do have to allow, when it comes to wellness businesses, you do have to think that there's a certain amount of time that needs to pass before someone books you, from when they first landed on your website or encountered your services or maybe your Instagram or saw your videos. People have to be open to receive this sort of healing, and you just have to continue to create content, and you need to continuously show up so that they know that your service is available, so that they can get educated on what you have to offer, and so that they can ultimately make the decision for themselves that this is something that they need and then reach out to you. So I just wanted to tell you that, especially if you started your business just in 2024 and you haven't seen a ton of traction, well, it's because you need to give it more time. You need to first create that awareness and let people sit with it and let some time pass before you can really judge whether or not your service is needed and well received by your audience. And if you've been in business for a while, if you've opened your wellness business for a little while and you found that 2024 maybe wasn't as profitable as you expected, or perhaps as profitable as the previous years have been, you have to understand that the climate has changed a lot. Therefore, a lot of people just perhaps had less time and they just weren't as open. But I can guarantee you that 99% of the time, when we don't have enough clients, it's because we're not promoting our business to a wider audience. We constantly have to promote our business. And so in 2025, I want us to really think about that and make a commitment to create that brand awareness, to continuously promote our business, and to get those results so that we can continue to build a profitable business. So today I wanted to talk to you about 3 mindset shifts that we need to make in order to have that success in the new year. So the first thing I want us to talk about, the first mindset shift we need to have before going into 2025, is the promise that we are not hiding ourselves anymore. We're not going to be afraid to be seen in 2025. We're going to get out there and we're going to put ourselves front and center of our business, and we're going to promote our services. We're going to invite people into our space, and we're going to tell them what we're all about, how we can help them, and the transformation that they can expect by working with us. I think a lot of us really do have a fear of being seen. I know I do. This is why I struggled for so many years to get on camera. If you know me in real life, you know that I have no problem talking. I'm a bit of a talker, I would say. And so I always thought that, putting myself out there would be relatively easy for me because I am comfortable around people. I don't have a problem. I'm definitely not an introvert. I wouldn't say that I'm an extrovert. I would say that I'm an ambivert, but I don't have a problem talking. But then when it came time to actually sit down and put myself out there, I did struggle at first. I think we all do, especially if we are not experienced enough, if we have never been in front of the camera. I'm someone that's not personally huge on social media. I'm more focused on our business Instagram and just on our business side of things, but I'm not necessarily a girly with a personal brand. This is something that I'm looking to cultivate right now. But this whole idea of being seen and of putting yourself out there, it can seem so scary, and it definitely is. It's not really easy. And I think a lot of the times what we fear most is that the people that we know will judge us, or that other people would judge us. But honestly, when it comes to strangers, I think that we're less afraid of them judging us than we are of the people that we actually know and love. And if that's you, and if that's your fear, I would say, first of all, if you have people around you that you think will judge you for the way you show up online, then, perhaps you should reconsider whether they deserve to be in your life, especially if you're someone that's just looking to build their business, or someone that's looking to get the word out there about the transformations that they can deliver to their clients, because there really is no shame in that. I think especially if you're creating content for your business, it's a different type of content that you're creating, right? It's not, obviously you have to be entertaining, but it's not content for entertainment purposes only, You're not making fun of people, you're not doing anything bad, you're simply putting yourself out there to reach a wider audience. So it's like, why would people have anything bad to say about you? And for me, when I had that realization, it really was liberating, especially because that was one of my biggest fears. I thought, it seems so silly now, but and I did think, what if the people from my high school or from college, they find my videos and they think, oh, well, who does she think she is, But then, first of all, I realized that those people really don't matter. It's not people that I'm still in contact with, so their opinions of me really don't matter. And second of all, I realized that the type of content that I create, it's really nothing to be laughed at. I think my videos are pretty nice. The production quality is not that bad. Obviously, I'm going to get better as I keep doing this, but that's just to say there's nothing really to laugh about. So if I stand behind my content, then whatever people have to say, it just really doesn't matter. Obviously, I'm just starting out, and there's so many ways in which I can get better, but that's something that I'm willing to go through. I'm not gonna let that stop me from producing content, from spreading awareness, from finding my voice, finding my authentic voice online, and reaching the women that I want to reach through these videos, you know? It's really funny because one of my first videos on YouTube, I did show it to one of my friends from high school, actually, a friend that I haven't seen in quite a while, and one of the first things she said to me was that, oh, it's too dark and it's too this and it's too that. And previously, I think I would have felt a little bit attacked and it would have made me feel bad about myself. But then in that moment, I was thinking to myself, well, she doesn't have a YouTube channel herself. It is one of my very first videos, and also she doesn't have a business, so she's neither someone that's in my niche or that's someone in my audience. So therefore, her opinion of what I'm doing, of my video, really didn't hold that much weight. And I just want you to think about that when you think that other people will judge you, or that you won't be good enough, or this, that, and the other. Just think whether the other person's opinion really holds value when it comes to what you are currently creating. And if you can get past that and you're still feeling afraid of showing up, remember that you will get better, but you need to be in this stage in order to get better. You'll never start something and be the best at it. No matter what you start in this life, you will always suck at it at first. When it comes to showing up and when it comes to getting over our fear of being seen, we need to commit to ourselves in 2025. We need to commit to taking the journey. We need to be okay with sucking at first in order to get better, because we're never going to be good to begin with. And it's just the way things go, you know. We have to accept that, and we have to tell ourselves that no matter what, we're going to continue and we're going to show up, because this right here, this step, this fear of showing up and of being seen is really one of the biggest things that I see holding women back when it comes to their wellness business. And remember, we can always make a million excuses as to why we cannot do something, but I know that if we make a commitment in 2025 to show up and we figure out the ways in which we're going to show up, then that commitment to ourselves is going to push us forward, and it's going to open doors that we never thought could open. And this sort of segues into my second point about the mindset shifts that we need to make before 2025 in order to be successful in our online business, and that is dealing with self-doubt. Because I honestly believe that self-doubt is actually what fuels this fear of being seen. And I find that when it comes to women in wellness, self-doubt is really easy to fall into, because most of the time you're building something that hasn't really been done before. So there's not really a good blueprint of what it is that you need to do. It's going to be a lot of trial and error, and the errors, they will make you feel like a failure. They will make you feel like you're not good enough and that perhaps you don't have what it takes. But the thing that you need to remember is that you need to get through these trials and tribulations in order to create and in order to get to design your dream life. And you know, when I think about self-doubt, the one thing that really gets me out of this state is the fact that life is so short. We can fall into self-doubt and we can fall into our routines and not want to get out of our comfort zones because we believe the self-limiting beliefs that we have, which keep us from moving forward and from creating this dream life. But then considering that you only have this one life and you only have this one chance, it's almost like, why would you not try to go for your dreams? Or why would you not try to experiment with life and see how far you can go and see how far you can stretch your potential? Because the alternative, sure, it can be good. I mean, you can have a very good life even if you don't go for your dreams. But if you always have in the back of your mind that regret that you didn't do what you wanted to do, I don't know if that's a life that's worth, I don't want to say worth living because that sounds a little bit dramatic, but I just don't want you to live with that regret for the rest of your life. You know what they say, at the end of life, you're never going to regret the things that you did do. You're most likely going to regret the things that you didn't do. If you do have this pull and if you do have this dream, and if you know that in the back of your mind, you do know that you are capable of doing something, even though so many self-doubts creep in when you're trying to move forward and take action on those dreams, you have to do it. You have to do it for yourself. You owe it to yourself to pursue those dreams, and you owe it to yourself to at least try to design that dream life. And what you'll notice is that even though it may take longer than you imagined and it may be harder than you imagined, at least for me, pursuing that dream and going towards that end goal, it feels better than anything else. There's been quite a few points in my business where I felt like it wasn't working, and I was thinking to myself, what is it that I'm gonna do? I need to find something else. I need to pivot. I need to change. I would go to sleep very sad and depressed because I've resigned to the fact that I'm gonna give up on my dream. And then the next day I would wake up and I'd still continue on it. There was just nothing else that would fire me up as much as building my business and doing this. There's just like nothing that really fills my cup more than this. I veered a little bit off course when it came to that because we were talking about self-doubt, but it's not worth letting your self-doubt hold you back from doing what you want, because you can always redefine who you are and you can always work on your self-concept in order to combat the self-doubt, and you can still do that while continuously taking steps forward. No matter what you do, you're always going to be doubtful, just kind of like how we were talking about it in the first point. No matter what, you're always going to suck at something before you're good at it. Well, it's the same with self-doubt. So if you're struggling with self-doubt and you find that it's holding you back and you can't get over it, well, the truth is that yes, you can get over it. It's just you need to take certain steps towards it. And once you take those steps, once you're consistent with it, well, your reality will change. And one day you'll find that the self-doubts that you had are just not present anymore. You'll probably have new ones that you'll need to tackle, but that's what it means to be human. So you just have to keep at it, and you have to redefine who you are over and over and over again. This is why I think, self-concept work is so important, because it really allows you to create the person that you want to be, right? So no matter what, this is what I love about life, because no matter what you do, no matter where you are, you always have your mind and you always have control over your mind. And when you have control over your mind, you can redefine who you are over and over and over again, and you can always become the person that you want to be. So if you're someone that struggles with self-doubt, take a look at your self-image. Take a look at how you talk to yourself. And before 2025, try to write a list down of what doubts do you have about your business not being able to succeed, and what are the stories that you're telling yourself about you not being able to create abundance and call in more clients. And write down the list and then go one by one and be logical about it. A lot of the times I find that our self-doubts are so over dramatized and are they're just not rooted in reality, because we are putting so much emotion behind the things that we feel. And if you look rationally at it, you will realize that of course you can get over anything. And why shouldn't you? I mean, really, in this life, there's so little limitations other than the self-imposed limitations that we have. If you really sit down and analyze it, you can redefine every single limiting belief that you have. You can turn it around and you can make it better. And obviously, I'm not talking about you all of a sudden thinking that you're a millionaire. That's not what I'm talking about here. But at the same time, before you can be a millionaire, you have to first believe that it is possible for you. Because if you're someone that doesn't believe that, if you're someone that doesn't believe that you can have a successful business, then there's not really a way that you can do it, because you're not going to take the right actions to bring you towards that end result. So if you're struggling with self-doubt over Christmas, again, try to take the time, write down your limiting beliefs, especially when it comes to your business, and then think logically and rationally about the truth of these limiting beliefs, and try to change those beliefs into something that's positive, into something that you can overcome. And these will become your affirmations. They'll become your affirmations and your goals for yourself for the new year. I'm going to do this exercise as well so we can grow together. And if you feel comfortable, put your affirmation down in the comments and I'll be rooting for you so that we can get there faster. I really love this one too, because it's like if you can see it for other people, it will happen for them faster. It's almost like you're amplifying your manifestations, right? So for example, when it comes to my clients, whenever I see or I catch them in self-doubt, I tell them, I believe in you and you should believe in yourself, and together we're going to change this, or we're going to push through. So put your affirmations down in the comments below. I would be more than happy to know what you're manifesting in 2025. And then the last mindset shift that I want us to tackle before 2025 is replacing perfection with progress. So this, I really do think that it ties back into the last 2 points. So first of all, the fear of being seen, and also dealing with self-doubt. But in both of these cases, we don't have to be perfect in order to move forward. When it comes to your business, if you're just building it, if you just started in 2024, or if you've been building it for a couple of years and you feel like you're not getting the progress that you are wanting, well, it doesn't really matter, because you are still making progress. Progress is progress, no matter how big or how small it is. And the thing that I want you to remember here is that the marketing landscape is changing every single day with the growth of social media, with the explosion of TikTok, with moving online and then moving offline with our, with the way we work. Things are changing every single day. Now with the introduction of AI and the huge AI push that we've experienced this year, it's normal that it feels like you're not making a lot of progress. And it's honestly, we're also constantly bombarded from left, right, and center by other people's successes. So it's so normal to feel like you are not making big steps, that you're not moving forward. It just feels like what you're doing is, staying still, and you need to push harder, try harder. And then, at one point, it just feels like, what's the point? If you can't catch up, if you can't be like the other people that are doing this, then how can you even keep up with this? And this is why we want to shift from having something be perfect to just making the progress, right? Because with things changing so fast, it's very hard to keep up and to have everything be perfect. So it's better to just put things out there, grow your audience in any way, in the best way that you can, than it is to just sit on it and wait until you know exactly what to do, until everything is perfect, until you feel like everything is aligned for you in order to make moves. You can still make moves right now without having it be perfect. So if it's something like implementing some automations in your business, it may feel like you want to wait until everything is in place, but just even one automation is going to help you so much in your business. It's important to celebrate those small wins, and those are the building blocks of your foundation, and it's what's gonna end up pushing you forward more than just waiting and waiting and waiting for things to settle. Because if there's one thing that I've noticed in the last couple of years, is that things will not settle. Technology is going to continue to advance, and it's going to continue to progress, and you really have to kind of keep up with the times, and you have to push forward, and you have to try new things and see how it feels and deal with it the best way that you can, because the world is just not waiting for us anymore until we get it right, until we're perfect, until we're ready. We just kind of have to hop on the trend and just go with it. Flow with life, flow with the changing times. I really do like this though. I'm someone that is definitely a recovering perfectionist. If you're in my audience, I know that you probably are too. I always want things to be perfect and pretty, and I just always want to deliver it in a perfect little package to my audience. But at the same time, I have to be okay. This is something that I've really had to work on my self-concept, and also with the fear of being seen. I had to let go of this idea of perfectionism, and now I'm just focusing on progress, and I'm just letting things evolve naturally. And if you feel like you've done something and it was a mistake, then just learn from it and continue to move forward. That's the only thing that we can do. Everything is trial and error. We're all doing this for the first time. So it's just about continuous learning and continuous steps forward. There we have it, the 3 mindset shifts that I wanted to talk about today before we move into 2025, so that you can see more progress in your business and therefore see more success in the new year. As you go through these 3 mindset shifts, I also want you to use the power of visualization to see yourself as having achieved your goal, as having that dream business and those dream clients that you just can't wait to help. It's such a simple practice, but it makes a world of difference. I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm Vanessa from Zen, an all-encompassing web design and branding agency where we help you step into your CEO energy and finally build the life of your dreams. If you like this video, please comment, like, and subscribe. It really helps the algorithm. It helps me build a little community here on YouTube. Know that I really appreciate it, because I'll know that my message is well received and that you are getting value from it. I hope you have a wonderful Christmas and a wonderful New Year, and I'll see you in the next one.